Hey, everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a great week. I wanted to take a minute to share with you a piece that I created years ago. It's single-handedly been the piece that has helped me and the advisors that I work with gather more assets, sell more annuities, and keep the process conceptual, which is where the sale is always made. Again, I'm of the opinion that sales are made in what's called the concept box. As soon as we jump into detail box before a sale is made or finalized, or at least in the client's mind is, right, then we will lose the sale. So this piece was created to help us sell in that concept box while gathering the most amount of assets that we can. So I really think that you'll like it. As I run through this, if it's something that you think you can fit into your sales system and want a copy of it, please reply to this email, and I will set up some time to kind of give you a shout, get it over to you. We can talk through the rest of your 2020 marketing plan, what you have planned for 2021, and how do we move forward together with Magellan. So, um, without further ado, let's go through this together. So, Mr. and Mrs. Client here. This sheet number one is called the Asset and Income Money Bucket System. We put the client's name on top. They have a total of investable assets of $1 million. First thing I always do is throw some money in a liquid bucket. I do that to kind of bring their guard down a little bit because we know everybody has a need for liquid assets in a safe position. This is money that they would put in cash. On top of that, we would probably need it for suitability anyways. Clients want money that they can access that isn't earmarked for long-term planning, that isn't, designed for income in the future. So accessible money that they can use. This will make them feel better. So we always start there. We'll move ourselves down into the bottom right-hand corner where you see the blue bar on top. It says current guaranteed income. We're going to start to gather that information. So in this specific circumstance, the clients had $42,000 of combined Social Security in retirement. And I use their full retirement age numbers. Again, we are just doing this in concept. If we decide we want to do a timing report or something like that, we can do that. We're getting a little more detailed at that point. But in this case, for the purposes of creating this type plan here, we can use their FRA numbers. So $42,000 in Social Security. These clients did not have any pension income. If your clients do, you can put it here. Now, by design, I've added tax-free life insurance income as an option. What we want to have happen here is we want them to look at you when you ask them if they have any, to look at you like you have four heads. And we want them to ask you, what does that mean? What is tax-free life insurance income? That's going to allow you to open up the conversation on potentially making an IUL sale. And so really, really important here that we ask that. Again, these clients had none. Majority of yours will probably have none as well. And then other income would be things like rental incomes for properties that they have, or maybe a child who's paying back a loan. And those are some examples of what I've seen put in this box here. In this case, zero, make it easy. $42,000 total guaranteed income that we have to plan with. Now we move to the left here, where we have required income, required essential income. This is their expenses in retirement, $65,000 in this example. Okay, move over their $42,000 of current guaranteed income. We have an income gap of $23,000 in retirement. Now, these clients are going to retire in 5 years, and so that will be important here in just a second, and I'll show you why. But then we open up the conversation. This is kind of where the magic happens. This allows us to determine if annuities are going to be a fit for these clients. So the question that we ask and the scripting that we use here is, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, of that $23,000 income gap that you have, how much would you like guaranteed at retirement? And I would venture to say that 90 to 95% of the clients that I've worked with and advisors that I work with have spoken to will say that they cannot afford to change their lifestyle. Right? This is essential income that has to be there. We need this money to be guaranteed. Um, Typically you're not going to have somebody says, well, I only need 50% of that guaranteed, right? That's just not going to happen. But you may run across it. That's okay. We'll play with it from there. But here's what we got. So we've got $23,000 of a desired guaranteed gap income. They want it all guaranteed. Zero to come from variable source. Now we open up the conversation about annuities and we say to our clients, okay, if guaranteed income is what you're looking for, or your income gap, right? Guaranteed income can only come from one place in retirement. That's an annuity. Now, there's a couple different types of annuities. There are fixed or fixed indexed annuities and variable annuities. And our firm sort of stays away from variable annuities, and these are the reasons why. Maybe it's, um, the lack of protection of principal. Maybe it's the high fees that are associated with some of these variable products, for whatever reason. But we'll say what we do work with these fixed index annuities. How familiar are with that product? Are you with that product? And the answers are going to vary here. It's going to be things like, yes, I know a lot about them. Um, no, I don't know anything about them. Well, I see Ken Fisher on the news and he talks about him, but he hates him. You know, read some things about him. Well, it doesn't matter what they say. This is your opportunity to teach them. And so what we'll say to them then is, okay, how about this? Let me explain to you how annuities work in an unbiased fashion, right? We just show you a few things about how they work, right? And then you can decide at the end of that whether or not we leave them on the table or take them off the table. And then at the end of it, if you decide you want to take them off the table because you don't like them, then we're no longer talking about guaranteed income, and that's okay, right? We are okay with that. Again, this is your plan. We want to build it for you, but I just want you to be aware that if we decide we don't like annuities, we're no longer talking about guaranteed income. We'll have to move that $23,000 to a variable income source. And, that will sort of bring up some red flags in their mind, like, hey, I don't want to have this income come from a place that I'm not sure about, right? So that's where we start. Now we can take things like our American Equity chart and show them that, or we can show them our favorite annuity guide that we have, or an income rider report, whatever it is. You can take them through and explain to them in a conceptual way, in an unbiased format, how annuities work. Right? Then bring it back up to them. Say, hey, do we leave it on the table or take it off the table? In this specific circumstance, these clients said, no, we like this idea of guaranteed income. We like the idea of principal protection. We like everything about them. Let's leave them on the table. Perfect. Now we need to determine how much money goes into that bucket. So here's what we do. We do some quick math. $23,000 divided by 0.05 is $460,000. Now the question I always get is what's 0.05? 0.05 is basically the most standard payout factor that I can use to keep everything very general. We can find a 5% payout factor on an annuity pretty much anywhere, as long as the client's, of a decent retirement age. If they're older, you might want to even up that number to 0.055 or 0.06. But in this case, because we're keeping it in concept, 0.05 is a great average number for us to come up with an idea. So now we know we need to get to about $460,000 in that 5 years, though, that we discussed here, because they're retiring in 5 years, in order to achieve the $23,000 per year guaranteed income. And again, that's in concept, right? We're just keeping it in concept. And we'll do a little bit more math, because now we need to determine how much money goes into the annuity to get there. So I have an HP12 calculator. Yes, I still have an HP12 calculator. I pull it out and I do a TVM calculation on my HP12. It kind of looks cool. It's so weird, but people love the idea when you pull that thing out and you look like an accountant or something old school and come up with some numbers, and it just looks like you know what you're doing. Other advisors have just gone online like I've done here. You grab your iPhone and download a financial calculator and do that as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you to use, different tools to do this, but really simple time value of money calculation. Future value 460, annual rate of 6%. Again, a very standard average roll up rate that we can pretty much find anywhere in the marketplace, with annuities, and we do them for 5 years. Okay. And that's how long we get. We click that PV, which is present value. It tells us that we need $343,738 in that annuity in order for it to grow to 460,000 in 5 years at 6%. So that's our simple math. We round it up to 350,000, and we know that's what we want to put into that bucket. We'll jump back to our bucket sheet, throw $350,000 into our green guaranteed income bucket. Okay, so now we know we've got the income satisfied, but we have $1 million. We've only used 400,000 here. There's 600,000 left, right? Now, you may open up the conversation to say, hey, how much do you want to leave to your kids? Is there a specific amount that you want to leave? Where we can start to have that conversation about maybe some whole life or term life, whatever it is. Guaranteed life insurance or things. Now, in this case situation, a lot of clients will tell you, nope, they get what they get. And that's what happened here in this example. whatever left is whatever left. So we've got $600,000 that we can throw into a growth bucket. Now, if you're an investment advisor, that money might go in the market, which is why it's red here, right? It might go in the in a portfolio, in the mutual funds, in the stocks, bonds, right? Something like that. So we can talk about those portfolios and things. Now, other advisors have said, hey, that's still too much money in the red column. And what I'd like to do is sell a portion of it into a growth annuity. Be my guest. That's a beautiful way to start the plan. Talk a little bit about, why we might use an annuity in that situation as a growth annuity, continue to protect the asset from losses, but still, get a little bit of the upside of the market. So, all that stuff opens up a conversation for, okay, we're going to get 600,000 on an accumulation vehicle, whether it's red or green. And in the future, we may need take some money out for inflation and all that kind of stuff. So then we turn to our clients and we say to them, hey, look at this. It's starting to look like the very beginnings of a good financial plan. What do you think? And they'll say, yeah, I agree. We've got some ideas of how we're going to get our income satisfied. We've got an idea of how much might go into accumulation vehicles. We're starting to learn a little bit more about what this is going to look like. So then we tell them, hey, here's what I'd like to do next. Between now and our next meeting, I'd like to work with my team and put the detail to this plan, right? I'm going to detail out all the features. I'm going to find the best product for us to get that guaranteed income. We're going to try to find the best portfolio options for your investment money, or the best growth annuity in combination with the best portfolios for your growth money. So between now and then, I'm going to do that. Let's schedule our next appointment. The next time you come in, we'll have a plan. That's when you come to me at Magellan here, and I will work to create you what we call a structured income plan. I use a software called SIPS, and I'm doing it for a lot of advisors today, but I want everybody to start taking advantage of it. The software creates a timeline that shows where each one of the assets is coming from, where the guaranteed income pieces are coming from, how we satisfy the expenses, the inflation, the taxes, everything is detailed out into this plan, and I can create those for you to present to your clients, right? So create a sales process that works for you, that's simple, that we help you with. Again, if you think this piece is something that you can use in your practice to kind of really start to conceptualize the idea of an annuity and selling in concept and the beginnings of a plan, reply to this email. Let me know you'd like to have a copy of it, and we'll get it over to you. So again, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend if I don't talk to you. Otherwise, looking forward to having those continued conversations about how to move forward in 2020 and what we do for 2021. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.